Chapter 31. The whole world was shocked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dongfang Yuan took action swiftly, after Yuan Tianzong was pulled less than 3 meters closer by the sword light. 2 sword lights on the left and right slashed through him diagonally, directly dividing Yuan Tianzong's body into 4 large blood clots, and fell directly from the sky. Island Master. The island owner is dead, the island owner is dead. After seeing the tragic death of Yuan Tianzong, the disciples and elders of Fengtian Island seemed to have lost their backbone and were completely in disarray. Some of them even started to panic and flee after they realized what they were doing. Don't let them go. Stop it. Kill. When the people of the Qian family realized that the people from Fengtian Island were trying to escape, they immediately stopped them. The people from the Tianyan Dynasty also immediately joined in and surrounded and killed them. The entire battlefield once again set off waves of fierce waves, but those powerful heavenly masters were still stagnant in the sky at this moment, somewhat at a loss what to do. After Qian Jiuyou and the ancestors of the Qian family recovered from their shock, they both felt deeply surprised. Dongfang Yuan is so strong. Kill Yuan Tianzong instantly. Those are the same as them. They are all powerful men at the level of Tianzun. Such a person was actually killed by Dongfang Yuan, who instantly killed him and dismembered him in full view of the public. How strong does Dongfang Yuan have to be? For a moment, the ancestor of the Qian family and Qian Jiuyou were both curious and delighted. No matter how strong Dongfang Yuan is, in short, now that he is here, their Qian family's predicament can be solved smoothly. As for the other 3 people, Feng Maobai, Jiang Baixing, and Shen Ningfa, after witnessing Yuan Tianzong's tragic death, all 3 of them were stunned and horrified. How could Dongfang Yuan be so powerful? Is he really just a younger generation? Although they were very confused in their hearts, they were even more afraid. Dongfang Yuan can instantly kill Yuan Tianzong with 1 blow, which means that he has the strength to kill any of the 3 of them instantly. Of course, even killing them all instantly is not impossible. Thinking of this, Jiang Baixing couldn't help but feel a sense of despair in his heart. Dongfang Yuan's eyes were still on him at this moment. This made him feel a chill rushing straight to his Tianlin cap, causing him to tremble slightly. If he were not in the air at this moment, he would probably have to kneel on the ground, his limbs would become weak and he would not be able to stand up. Yuan Emperor. I. Jiang Baixing looked at Dongfang Yuan, his whole body was extremely nervous, his body was trembling, and he couldn't speak clearly. Jiang Baixing. Do not worry. You and Yuan Tianzong can just wait in hell. It won't take long before I send everyone in the blood studio to accompany you. You will not be alone on the road to hell. With a faint smile on Dongfang Yuan's face, he gradually walked toward Jiang Baixing above the sky. Jiang Baixing's heart was filled with fear beyond measure. Looking at the smile on Dongfang Yuan's face, he felt as if he saw a devil from hell holding a sickle and showing him the most terrifying smile in the world. No. Do not. Jiang Baixing's pupils widened and he seemed to be driven crazy. He immediately ran away, exerting his life strength to the limit. His speed exploded to the extreme, and he fled crazily toward the horizon. Shen Ningfa was even more enlightened. Seeing Jiang Baixing running away, Dongfang Yuan's attention must be on him. As a result, his figure also moved in the opposite direction to Jiang Baixing's. He accelerated his speed to the extreme and turned into a stream of light and hurriedly escaped. Dongfang Yuan didn't look anxious when he saw the 2 of them running away like crazy. Instead, he smiled slightly, seeing that Dongfang Yuan still had a smile on his face. Feng Maobai, who was about to make a move, suppressed his inner restlessness. Within Dongfang Yuan's body, a powerful force at the 5th level of Tianzun realm was emanating from his body. This super powerful aura spread like a tsunami directly above the sky. Qian Jiuyou and Feng Maobai were also above the sky. It was as if their souls were soaring into the sky, and they were hit directly in the forehead by this aura, and they didn't dare to make any move at all. Compared to Qian Jiuyou and the ancestor of the Qian family who were overjoyed, Feng Maobai's face was filled with shock, and his face was as white as a sheet of paper, without a trace of blood. Sword Dragon Ming. Dongfang Yuan turned his fingers into swords, used the power in his body, and slashed out two bloody sword lights in the direction in which the two of them were escaping. The sword energy transformed into a dragon, and the two sword lights transformed directly into a bloodthirsty dragon. It opened its bloody mouth, which contained extremely powerful power, and devoured the two of them. Roar. The bloodthirsty dragon cut through the sky at a speed far exceeding that of Jiang Baisheng and Sheningfa. Feng Mabai and Qian Jiuyou saw with their own eyes that Sheningfa just turned his head to see if Dongfang Yuan was catching up behind him. As a result, he saw the bloodthirsty dragon approaching and swallowing him suddenly. "Do not laugh!" Sheningfa screamed with fear on his face, but in the next moment, the bloody mouth of the bloodthirsty dragon swallowed his entire figure. Immediately, after the bloodthirsty dragon devoured it, the power contained in it also exploded, and it exploded suddenly, like a blood star exploding. The sky was filled with rain of blood, and layers of blood mist filled the air. For a moment, no one could tell whether it was Dongfang Yuan's power or Sheningfa's blood. All he knew was that Shening was dead, a complete death without a whole body, even worse than Yuan Tianzong. At the same time, a sound also erupted in the sky on the other side. Blood droplets fell and blood mist filled the air. The figures of the two people were like fireworks. After being swallowed by the bloodthirsty dragon, the fuse was ignited, and their souls and flesh and blood fully bloomed, showing a bloody painting. Feng Mabai was completely lost at this moment. He was panicking inside. Jiang Baisheng and Sheningfa escaped so far, but they could not escape Dongfang Yuan's vicious hands. At this time, he didn't know what to do. On the battlefield below, after Jiang Baisheng and Sheningfa died, the three major forces were completely defeated, and people's hearts collapsed. He was killed by people from the Qian family and the Tianyan Dynasty and fled madly, leaving behind his helmet and armor. For a time, the disciples of the three major forces fell like rain. Their hearts lost their hearts, and they lost their backbone. Coupled with the pressure of the fifth level of Tianzuan realm emanating from Dongfang Yuan, it was so powerful that it made one feel desperate. No one wanted to fight to the death and only wanted to escape alive. Chapter 32: A Dead Centipede with Bad Luck. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Run away. Run. Run. At this moment, the disciples in Xiaoyu Palace and Burning Sky Island had no intention of fighting at all, and almost all of them fled in panic with horrified expressions on their faces. The figures fled outside the Qian family's mansion one after another. Chase. The Qian family and the powerful men of the Tianyan Dynasty would naturally not be able to let them go so easily. He also chased them all the way. The entire battlefield, centered on the Qian family's residence, quickly spread to all directions and began to spread over the entire streets of Tianlin City. The Qian family and the Tianyan Dynasty were like ruthless reapers of death, ruthlessly seizing and killing people from the three major forces. Qian Jiuyou, the ancestor of the Qian family, Tai Poyan, and Tianyu King, the four powerful heavenly masters, did not continue to stand in the sky. Instead, they each led their teams and launched the bloodiest massacre against the remaining defeated generals of the three major forces. The four heavenly masters were hundreds of feet tall and blocked the ends of the streets, cutting off any hope of escape for the disciples of the three major forces. What? Chi chi chi. Bang bang bang. The spiritual light offensives came down one after another, and the disciples of the three major forces also died tragically in batches, lying on the streets. Many houses on the streets of Tianlin City were even affected. Houses and restaurants were bombarded one after another. At the same time, the bloody corpses of many disciples of the three major forces were buried in those ruins. The entire Tianlin City was completely reduced to a hell on earth. The extremely large and fierce battle filled the air in the city with a rich blood and spread to every corner of the city. The people of the Tianyan Dynasty, especially the god-slaying guards, the golden armored guards and the shadow guards, all showed extremely strong fighting power and massacred more than half of the people in Xiaoyu Palace and Fenchen Island. The ferocious power is shocking, and the cruelty is even more outrageous. They seem to have no emotion at all. They only obeyed Dongfang Yuan's orders and slaughtered countless disciples of the three major forces wantonly, but the expressions on their faces showed no emotion at all. At this time, Qian Xinrou was standing in the square of Qian's house. There were corpses piled around her, but most of them were the bloody corpses of people from the three major forces. She was not injured, and the two shadow guards guarded her every step of the way, helping her kill at least thousands of disciples from the three major forces. Qian Xinrou felt such peace of mind for the first time. The two shadow guards guarded her, making Qian Xinrou feel an unprecedented sense of security. She couldn't help but look at the domineering figure standing in the sky. What kind of person is he? Why do you have so many mysterious dead men under your command? Qian Xinrou was very curious. How did Dongfang Yuan train these shadow guards, the god-slaying guards, and the golden-armored guards? His ability is so special, and he is really a killing machine, treating human life as nothing. From their eyes, Qian Xinrou could only feel their absolute loyalty to Dongfang Yuan. At the same time, above the sky, Dongfang Yuan killed Shen Ningfa and Jiang Baisheng, and finally set his sights on Feng Mabai. Master Feng Shan, now it's your turn. Dongfang Yuan smiled lightly. Immediately, his hand began to slowly stretch out. And many more. Yuan. Emperor Yuan. I, Xian Qingshan, and your Tianyan Dynasty have no grievances in the past or recent times. I have never offended your Tianyan Dynasty. And the forces that killed your father. It's Xinghai and the others, not me. You can't kill me. I'm innocent. That being stared at by Dongfang Yuan made Feng Mabai's legs weak from fear. In the face of death, he still had the demeanor of a mountain lord. At this moment, he was begging Dongfang Yuan for mercy with an extremely frightened face. Dongfang Yuan smiled evilly, but you and Xiaoyu Palace joined forces and even planned to destroy the Qian family and then jointly deal with me, Tianyan. Is this still innocent? No, no, no. Emperor Yuan, you misunderstood. I deceived them. From the beginning to the end, I never thought about becoming an enemy of the Tianyan Dynasty. Feng Mabai hurriedly defended. Dongfang Yuan smiled calmly. It's okay, no matter what, you will die. There's something not very good about me. That's why I like to plan for a rainy day. As long as there is something that threatens Tianyan, I will definitely respond in advance. After saying that, an energy body had condensed on Dongfang Yuan's palm. Feng Mabai's face turned pale and he panicked. Suddenly, his eyes turned to dead centipede, who was still leaning on the edge of the tea house and watching the situation here. And many more. Emperor Yuan. I have important information. That person. That's the blind scholar. He is the #1 gold medal killer in the Blood Shadow Studio, the dead centipede. Feng Mabai shouted loudly and panicked. Death Centipede's face was very solemn as he stared at the battlefield here. He had been paying attention to the battlefield between the two. I want to see if there is a chance to get the sun and moon key at the end, but at this moment, he was sitting peacefully by the window when Feng Mabai suddenly shouted like this. Others were stunned on the spot. Moment. After he reacted, his figure disappeared directly above the tea house. It turned into a white light and hurriedly fled away into the distance. Feng Mabai. I care about your ancestors. As the dead centipede fled, he did not forget to curse angrily at Feng Mabai. He is really stupid. I was just a passerby who wanted to watch a show. The result is good. After being shouted out like this by Feng Mabai, he actually became the protagonist, not to mention how fucked up he was inside. If words could kill, I'm afraid Feng Mabai would have been sprayed by him right now in Dead Centipede's heart until he was completely dead. Dead Centipede. When they heard Feng Mabai's shout, Tai Poyan, King Tianyu, Qian Jiuqiu and others in the Tianzuan realm were also attracted to him. At this time, Dongfang Yuan's face was unhurried and indifferent. His eyes turned and locked onto the flowing figure of the dead centipede. His speed is very fast, and his concealment method is also very superb. False shadows appear frequently in the sky, trying to disturb Dongfang Yuan's sight, but unfortunately, at the moment when his spirit snake was trampled to death by Dongfang Yuan, his breath had already been locked by Dongfang Yuan. The reason why he had not been in a hurry to take action against him before was because Dongfang Yuan was confident that he could not run away, but now that Feng Mabai shouted like this, he could only take care of him first. Dongfang Yuan shot out a finger light. Like a shooting star, it shot straight towards the dead centipede's true body. The speed was faster than lightning, flying dozens of miles away in the blink of an eye, and was approaching behind the dead centipede in an instant. How is this possible? When the dead centipede was fleeing, he suddenly felt a cold feeling behind his back. Looking back, his whole face instantly became horrified. He didn't understand how Dongfang Yuan could find his true identity in such a short period of time, but before his doubts could enter his mind, the power of the finger light shot directly into his body. The dead centipede also used all its strength to defend itself in the next moment, but Dongfang Yuan's power was too much higher than his, and he was completely crushed. Boom! The power exploded directly, and a nearby mountain was hit by the waves and was directly destroyed to the ground. As for the dead centipede, he didn't even scream, but was directly bombarded by the explosion. All his flesh, blood and soul disappeared from the world along with the force of the explosion. The leader of the dignified Blood Shadow Studio Gold Medal Killer was destroyed in the wild by Dongfang Yuan in one blow. Chapter 33 Cut the grass and remove the roots. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Don't kill me. Emperor Yuan. As long as you don't kill me, I can tell you a secret that will be of great benefit to the Tianyan Dynasty. At this time, after the dead centipede died, Feng Mabai's figure who had originally wanted to take the opportunity to escape was suddenly frozen. The next moment, Dongfang Yuan appeared in front of him, and Feng Mabai immediately shouted and roared, but Dongfang Yuan was indifferent. Why bother? It's not enough to search for souls. As soon as he finished speaking, Dongfang Yuan's hand directly covered Feng Mabai's Tianlin cap, and a powerful force invaded Feng Mabai's body. Immediately, Feng Mabai's soul seemed to be peeled in half, and a big hand was digging out everything deep in his soul. This severe pain caused him to let out a heart-piercing and tragic scream in the sky. After Dongfang Yuan's power invaded, it didn't take long for the soul search to be completely completed. After discovering Feng Mabai's memory, a different color appeared in Dongfang Yuan's eyes. Treasures of the sun and moon. That's quite interesting. Boom. Feng Mabai's body was blasted directly in the sky by Dongfang Yuan's palm, and his space ring also fell into Dongfang Yuan's hands. Everyone from the three major forces, leave no one behind. After that, Dongfang Yuan issued an order not to allow any of the defeated soldiers to survive. Yes. King Tianyu, Tai Poyan and others, as well as the Godzancing guards, directly pursued and intercepted them, and completely killed the remaining hundreds of disciples. The entire battlefield was completely over in less than a stick of incense, and in today's battle, Dongfang Yuan's name will definitely become famous throughout the Northern Territory. Taking this battle alone as an example, the number of those who died tragically at the hands of Dongfang Yuan was already as high as 5. One person slaughtered 5 Tianzhuan realms. This achievement was extremely explosive in the entire Northern Territory. After all the battlefields in Tianlin City were over, the disciples of the Qian family and the Tianyan Dynasty were also ordered to clean up the streets and battlefields. At this time, Dongfang Yuan stood on the flying ship with his arms folded, looking at the ruins of the streets below. King Tianyu, Tai Poyan, the ancestors of the Qian family and Qian Jiuyou all flew over. Xuanhuan. This time, thank you Emperor Yuan for bringing his troops to help. I didn't expect that Emperor Yuan's strength would be so strong. It seems that people in the world were blind before. Qian Jiuyou and the ancestor of the Qian family stood next to Dongfang Yuan and thanked him respectfully, but they didn't dare to be too pretentious. Just kidding. With the strength Dongfang Yuan showed today and his cultivation at the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm, I am afraid that only the strong ones from the overlord level forces can overwhelm him. The entire Tianyan dynasty can now be called the number 1 force in the Northern Territory, second only to the overlord level forces. Even if the owner of the Blood Shadow Tower, Guanjiyun, saw him, he could only take a detour. Dongfang Yuan's face was still a little serious at this moment. He just heard him say, Master Qian is too polite. I just hope you don't forget the conditions you agreed to. Ha 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 ha. Don't worry Emperor Yuan. My little girl can return to the palace with Emperor Yuan at any time. From today on, our Qian family and the Tianyan dynasty will definitely be on good terms for generations to come. Qian Jiuyou can be said to have wished for it. Dongfang Yuan has reached the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm at such a young age. There is no need to say much about his talent. In the entire history of the Northern Territory, no one has broken through to the heavenly realm in his 20s. Dongfang Yuan is the well-deserved number one. He overturned a record in the realm of monsters in the Northern Territory. Today's battle is over, and as long as the news gets out, Dongfang Yuan's reputation will reach an unprecedented peak. Those who are in the Tianzhuan realm in their 20s, even those who are powerful in the overlord forces, may not be able to sit still. The battlefield here is over. But the grudges between us and the forces like Xiaoyu Palace are not over yet. Master Qian, if you cut the grass without eradicating the root, it will grow again in the future when the spring breeze blows. At this time, Dongfang Yuan suddenly said. Chapter 34. The three top forces are destroyed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Qian Jiuyou heard Dongfang Yuan's words, he immediately nodded and said, "Don't worry, Emperor Yuan, I know what to do. In this case, Xian Qingshan will be left to you. King Tianyu, Marshal Tai, you two each lead 10 Dharma realm experts to go to Xiaoyu Palace and Fengtian Island to uproot the foundations of these two forces. Leave no one alive." Dongfang Yuan immediately ordered. Now the Tianzhuan realms of Fengtian Island and Xiaoyu Palace are dead, and all the elites have died tragically here. The only ones left in the force are some elders and disciples with average combat power. King Tianyu and his 2 men will personally lead them there and deal with them, and there will be basically no accidents. Yes. King Tianyu and Tai Poyan responded immediately. Ancestor, please go to Xianqing Mountain yourself and eliminate them completely. Qian Jiuyou looked at the ancestor of the Qian family and said. Okay, leave it to me. Said the ancestor of the Qian family. The result of the battle between the Qian family and Tianlin city was spread out in less than a day. Everyone in the entire Northern Territory knew about it, and everyone was shocked. No one expected that the Tianyan Dynasty would support the Qian family in the end, but the result would be like this. I didn't expect that the Tianyan Dynasty's hidden strength would be so terrifying. More than 30 Dharma realm powerhouses. And there are also 12 dead warriors at the peak of Dharma realm, killing people like hemp, real killing machines. How did the Tianyan Dynasty suddenly possess such powerful men? The more than 30 Dharma realms are indeed surprising, but the most shocking one is the current emperor of the Tianyan Dynasty, Dongfang Yuan. At the age of more than 20 years old, he has reached the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm. In the Battle of Tianlin City, he directly killed 5 Tianzhuan realm experts in an instant. His record is amazing. Such talents are like a gap in the entire history of the Northern Territory. I have never heard of anyone who can break into the heavenly realm in his 20s. He is truly the best among monsters. Many forces in the entire Northern Territory were shocked by the news of the battle in Tianlin City, and their eyes were all focused on the Tianyan Dynasty, but before they could finish digesting the news, another big event happened in the Northern Territory. The gates of the 3 major forces, Xianqing Mountain, Xiaoyu Palace, and Fengtian Island, were destroyed by 3 heavenly masters from the Qian family and the Tianyan Dynasty. All the remaining disciples and elders of the 3 major forces did not escape, and all died tragically within their own sections. At this point, Fengtian Island, Xiaoyu Palace, and Qingshan, the 3 top forces in the Northern Territory, were completely eliminated and reduced to dust in the history of the Northern Territory. The destruction of the 3 top forces caused quite a stir in the Northern Territory. In addition, the hidden strength of the Tianyan Dynasty was exposed in the Battle of Tianlin City, especially the monsters of Dongfang Yuan, which led to the overlord-level forces in the Northern Territory starting to set their sights on the Tianyan Dynasty. A force can hide so deeply. Although Dongfang Yuan only has the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm, for those overlords, this is equivalent to giving them a signal. The fact that the Tianyan Dynasty has such a secret and has hidden it for so long shows that they are not simple. Fengjianzong. At this time, above the main hall of Fengyun sect, thousands of people came to the sect leader. Deputy sect leader Han Zhao and some senior elders of Fengyun sect were all sitting in the main hall. What do you think about the Tianyan Dynasty? Xuanhuan asked. Sect master, I always find this matter very strange. If the Tianyan Dynasty has such a background, How could the previous monarch of the Tianyan Dynasty be framed to death by the Blood Shadow Tower and the others? It doesn't make sense, an elder from Fengyun sect said with some confusion. Elder Lu is right, this is really confusing. But I don't know if you have noticed a detail. The strength of Dongfang Yuan is a bit too evil, isn't it? A son's cultivation level is higher than that of his father, and it is still ridiculously high. So I think the problem with the Tianyan Dynasty is not with the Tianyan Dynasty itself, but with Dongfang Yuan. I don't believe that such a monster can be born in the Northern Territory, if there is one. Then he is most likely not from the Northern Territory. At this time, an old man sitting on the left side of the crowd was analyzing objectively and calmly. This person's name is Gao Su, he is the second elder of Fengyun sect and a great cultivator at the 8th level of Tianzhuan realm. Second elder, what do you mean? This Dongfang Yuan may be the reincarnation of a certain peerless powerful man, or is it the body of a Caesar? Thousands of people asked the sect leader. It's very possible. The second elder confirmed his guess. If this is the case, the Tianyan dynasty cannot be underestimated. The expressions of Wan Chang gradually changed. If Dongfang Yuan is really a reincarnated peerless powerful man, then this person's growth rate must be very rapid. If we make friends with such people, it will be beneficial, but if they turn against each other, things will be in trouble. We must get rid of him quickly before he fully grows up. Sect Master, actually we don't have to worry so much at the moment. At this time, Deputy Sect Master Han Zhao suddenly said. What do you mean? Thousands of people asked. For now, Dongfang Yuan's cultivation is only at the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm, and he can't pose any threat to us. And he killed the third elder's only direct disciple. A few days ago, a breath came out from the back mountain. I sensed that it was the third elder who successfully broke through. It will only be the next few days until the third elder leaves seclusion. After the third elder comes out of seclusion, he will definitely go to the Tianyan dynasty to avenge his apprentice. And with the strength of the third elder, it must be more than enough to deal with Dongfang Yuan, Han Zhao said calmly. Thousands of people remembered it at this time. The third elder of their Fengyun sect accepted as his disciple none other than Dongfang Xian, the proud son of Tianyan Dynasty. He is the imperial brother of Dongfang Yuan. Dongfang Xian had been brutally killed by Dongfang Yuan before, and even the supreme bones had been dug out. The third elder in seclusion is still unaware of this. After he came out of seclusion and learned that his apprentice was killed, he would definitely go to the Tianyan Dynasty to settle the score with Dongfang Yuan. At that time, if the Tianyan dynasty dared to resist, their Fengyun sect would be well known and directly gather their strength to destroy them. Since it's a matter, let's leave it to the third elder to handle. Since Dongfang Yuan has already had a problem with us, we can no longer keep him. Wan Wanxiang made a decision immediately. Now that you have a grudge, you can't keep it any longer. Chapter 35 Demon Respect Building. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qian family, after several days of cleaning, all the corpses in Tianlin City have been cleared away, and the Qian family's mansion and those broken houses were restored in a short time by the Qian family's Dharma realm experts. After the war, Tianlin City returned to its original state, and the people in the city began to become lively, because Dongfang Yuan still stayed in the Qian family. The number of people in Tianlin City was more than double that before. Most of the people who came to Tianlin City wanted to witness the appearance of Emperor Yuan, the most legendary evildoer in the Northern Territory. However, they were all kept outside the Qian family's mansion. Even if some other top powers wanted to visit, Dongfang Yuan did not see them stare. Congratulations to the host. The Tianyan dynasty has occupied Xiaoyu Palace, the original territory of the two major forces on Fenchen Island. The prestige value of Tianyan Dynasty increased by 1,000 points, and the current prestige value is 2,820. The reward gift package has been sent, the prestige value has reached, and an achievement gift package has been sent. In a room, Dongfang Yuan was affected by the system's elevated sound, after Tai Poyan and King Tianyu destroyed Xiaoyu Palace and Fenchen Island. They immediately dispatched the powerful men of Tianyan Dynasty to occupy all the territories and cities under their command. and the prestige of his Tianyan Dynasty also increased accordingly. System, open the reward gift package and the achievement gift package. Dongfang Yuan opened these gift packages without any hesitation. Stare. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained 3 years of cultivation X1, killing God Guard X6, Arrow God X1, Demonic Respect Tower X1. Hiss. Dongfang Yuan suddenly felt happy in his heart, Demon Respect Building. Good guy, now, my 2 favorite figures are all here together. 2 figures suddenly appeared inside his house. One person looked like a middle-aged man, carrying a flaming bow on his back. His eyes were as sharp as a sword, and his eyes seemed to be able to penetrate everything in the world. The whole figure stood upright, with a calm and intimidating face. The other person, wearing black clothes with tail, is tall and slender, with 2 sharp horns on the top of his head and a back hair. He looks bohemian, but full of majesty, and this person's whole body was filled with strong demonic energy. The Arrow God has met His Majesty. I have met His Majesty in Chonglu. Both of them knelt down on one knee and saluted Dongfang Yuan. You two don't need to be polite. Get up quickly, Dongfang Yuan said immediately. After the 2 stood up, Dongfang Yuan also checked their attribute panels, name, Arrow God, treasure, flame bow, qualification, infinite, physique, heavenly arrow holy body, destiny luck value, 89, cultivation realm, 6th level of Tianzuan realm, name, Chonglo, treasure, space wrist magic knife, qualification, infinite, physique, demon body, destiny luck value, 98, cultivation realm, 9th level of Tianzuan realm. After checking the information panels of the 2 people, Dongfang Yuan was surprised and happy. As expected of the Demon Lord, a being at the same level as the God of War Fei Peng, at the peak of the Heavenly Lord realm. All of a sudden, the strength of our Tianyan Dynasty has become even stronger, Dongfang Yuan said happily in his heart. Now, the Tianyan Dynasty, plus himself, already had 3 people with peak combat power in the Tianzuan realm. With this kind of strength, placed above the Northern Territory, they basically don't have to worry about even Overlord-level forces. You two, hide your cultivation first. Don't expose yourself yet. Dongfang Yuan warned. Yes, Demon Zunzhenglu and the Arrow God have also hidden their own cultivation. Now in the eyes of outsiders, the 2 of them are just like mortals, without any aura of spiritual power in their bodies. Afterwards, 6 god-slaying guards also appeared in the house one after another. Like those summoned before, these 6 people are all at the peak of Dharma realm. System, can I only use my 3 years of cultivation for my own use? Dongfang Yuan asked thoughtfully. System, host, the cultivation you gain can be allocated to yourself or to the characters you summon through the system. The control is in the hands of the host yourself. After hearing the system's answer, Dongfang Yuan immediately made a decision. Okay, then I will use 1 years of cultivation to improve myself. Then, select 5 shadow guards, 5 golden armor guards, and 5 dragon-slaying guards, and distribute the remaining 2 years of cultivation among them evenly. System, instruction received. System, distributing. The voice of the system rang in Dongfang Yuan's mind. Similarly, the bottleneck of his cultivation level also began to loosen, and his aura was rising rapidly. System, 3 years of cultivation has been allocated. System, the host has reached the 7th level of Tianzuan realm. As for the 15 promoted personal guards, their cultivation levels have all been upgraded to the 3rd level of Tianzuan realm. Dongfang Yuan looked at his body, his breath increased a lot, and he felt that his whole body was full of strength. As for the 6 god-slaying guards next to them, the cultivation aura of 5 of them has already reached the 3rd level of Tianzuan realm, but fortunately, they all restrained their auras, so they were not exposed. The system selection method for allocating cultivation levels is to first select the bodyguards who are relatively close to Dongfang Yuan. The shadow guards and golden armor guards who stayed at the Qian family have also been promoted. However, Dongfang Yuan could accept the promotion of his personal guards, but he couldn't understand his own cultivation level. System, what's going on with me? After 1 years of cultivation, I have only broken through 2 small realms. Are you sure you didn't cheat? Dongfang Yuan asked with doubt in his heart. This is outrageous. It took 1 year of cultivation to advance to 2 small realms. He himself didn't believe that this was not swallowed up by the system, host. This system is a fair and reliable platform, and its reputation can be guaranteed by personality. It is impossible to monopolize the host's cultivation, system. The main reason why the host's realm breaks through so slowly is the host's cultivation techniques, system. The cultivation level given by the system is injected into the host's body in the form of spiritual power, and the Hongmeng Chaos Divine skill practiced by the host is indeed one of the most supreme skills in the universe, system. But host, you have only practiced part of the technique. Although this technique can support you to kill people at several levels in a row, its side effect is that it will limit the speed at which you, the host, can break through the cultivation level, system, especially after the host reaches the 5th level of Tianzuan realm and cultivates this skill to a small degree. The host's Qi spiritual energy savings will be dozens or even hundreds of times higher than that of the same realm, system. Therefore, this also leads to the fact that the spiritual power consumed by the host to break through the cultivation level will be dozens or even hundreds of times that of the same realm, system. Does this mean the host understands? Chapter 36, Cheating Technique. Complete Technique. You are listening at novelfull.audio. According to what you said, although this Hongmeng Chaos Divine Art has helped me increase my upper limit against enemies of the same realm, it has also limited the speed at which I can improve my cultivation. Is that what you mean? Dongfang Yuan's eyes twitched and he asked, System, yes. You still are. Aren't you cheating on me? Which good Tongzi gave me such a trick? On the contrary, it limits the speed at which I can break through my cultivation. If you had told me that this would happen, I would rather not practice this forceful technique. Dongfang Yuan almost jumped up in anger. The co-author swallowed his 1 year of cultivation blessing, which turned out to be the reason for his skill. System, host, don't worry, if anything happens, we can discuss it. System, the exercises currently practiced by the host do have side effects, but the main reason is also caused by the incomplete exercises practiced by the host. System, as long as the host practices the complete Hongmeng Chaos Divine Art, this side effect will disappear on its own. Dongfang Yuan's heart became very peaceful, but there was no movement. System, host, are you listening? Nonsense, then give it to me. Dongfang Yuan roared in his heart. System, the complete Hongmeng Chaos magic skill requires the host to open the air gift pack and the prestige value gift pack to obtain it. Dongfang Yuan felt very depressed at this time. After calming down a little, he breathed a long sigh of relief. That's all. With the cultivation level of the 7th level of Tianzuan realm, I am currently invincible in the northern territory. Let's talk about this technique in the future. Dongfang Yuan thought for a moment, and now the 3 major forces have been destroyed, and the death centipede in the Blood Shadow Tower is dead. In this case, let's just stop at nothing and destroy the Blood Shadow Studio's lair and their hidden stakes. Arrow God obeys the order, Dongfang Yuan said immediately. Here. The Arrow God said respectfully. Arrow God, you go to the northern land of Borneo, which is the home of the Blood Shadow Tower. You lead 6 god-slaying guards there and uproot the entire Blood Shadow Tower's home. Remember, leave no one alive. Dongfang Yuan ordered. Yes. Your Majesty. The Arrow God also immediately set off with the 6 god-slaying guards in the house to go to Borneo. Through Su Bai, he had already become familiar with the base camp of Shuiying Tower and the major hidden stakes, and counting the time, Su Bai should have taken action by now. Following Dongfang Yuan's thought, 2 shadow guards from the 3rd level of Tianzuan realm appeared in the house. His Majesty. Dongfang Yuan looked at the 2 of them and immediately said, Inform King Tianyu and Tai Poyan so that they don't have to come back to Qian's house and go directly to the hidden piles of Shuiying Tower to wipe them out completely. In addition, the 4 of you shadow guards will also go out together to destroy all branches of the Blood Shadow Tower. Take action immediately. Yes. Your Majesty. Immediately, the shadow guard disappeared into the house. After they left, Dongfang Yuan looked at Chonglu with admiration in his eyes. Demon Lord, you stay here for now. After the Blood Shadow Tower is destroyed, you come back to the palace with me. I will take you to meet a familiar old man. Friend. Believe me, you will be pleasantly surprised after meeting him. Yes, your majesty. Chonglu nodded and responded. In the sky still some distance away from Tianlin city, Tai Poyan and King Tianyu led the powerful men of the Tianyan Dynasty to fly in the direction of the Qian family on flying ships. On the deck, after King Tianyu suddenly received a message, his expression changed and he immediately shouted, "Stop! Turn around quickly!" What's wrong? Tai Poyan asked at the side. Your Majesty is going to attack the Blood Shadow Tower. We have sent people to the headquarters of the Blood Shadow Tower. The Shadow Guard sent us a message, asking us to go to the hidden piles of the Blood Shadow Tower and destroy them one by one. No one should be left alive. King Tianyu immediately said seriously. Okay. I can finally help the late emperor to avenge his blood feud. The whole army turns around immediately. Tai Poyan said excitedly. Immediately, above the sky, the flying ships of the Tianyan Dynasty changed their directions and drove towards the distance, Blood Shadow Studio headquarters. At this time, in an attic in the underground palace of the Blood Shadow Tower headquarters, Guan Zhiyun and Nan Menyu's expressions were so gloomy that they were about to drip. Their expressions were even more solemn. Apparently, they had also received news about the battle in Tianlin city, including the destruction of the three major forces. The territories of Burning Sky Island and Xiaoyu Palace were taken over by the Tianyan Dynasty. The most important thing is Dongfang Yuan's cultivation that is beyond everyone's expectations, and the death of Death Centipede. How did he practice? A useless person can actually cultivate to the 5th level of the heavenly realm, surpassing all of us. There is also the underlying strength of Tianyan Dynasty. There are as many as, Dharma realm experts alone, which is more than us. If we had known that they had such a background, how could we have cooperated with the Dream Dynasty in the first place? Guan Zhiyun said with some regret and worry. If he had known earlier that Dongfang Yuan was so powerful and Tianyan Dynasty was so deeply hidden, even if he were to die, he would not be able to agree to Xiao Tianding's conditions. Unfortunately, there is no medicine for regret in this world. Some grudges, once formed, are completely irreversible. Owner. We have been ignoring Dongfang Yuan, which has led to things becoming like this. I think it's not an accident that Dongfang Yuan's cultivation can reach the 5th level of Tianzuan realm all of a sudden. Nan Minyu frowned at this moment. You mean, he is the reincarnation or body snatching of some old monster? Guan Zhiyun guessed. Very likely. Otherwise, the younger generation in the entire Northern Territory, even the most evil divine bodies, are just in the realm of Dharma. And this boy has entered the 5th level of Tianzuan realm before he was 30 years old. If you say that his identity is not weird, I don't believe it at all. Nan Minyu said firmly. But now it doesn't matter who he was in the past. Now the hatred between the two of us has been forged. And he even killed the centipede. We can no longer communicate with each other in the Tiandi Pavilion. Now we are in a dilemma. What should we do? Guan Zhiyun was thinking anxiously on the spot with a sad look on his face, while Nan Minyu was also pressing his eyebrows and touching his chin with a thoughtful expression. However, at this moment, a figure suddenly ran in with a hurried expression, breaking their train of thought. No. It's not good. Lord, something big happened. What happened again? That when he saw the visitor, he barged in directly. In addition, Guan Zhiyun was still in a particularly irritable state, and he was somewhat resentful at this moment. Yes, it's the young landlord. Young landlord, he. When Guan Zhiyun heard that it was his son, his expression immediately showed concern. What's wrong with Xingyu? You should tell me. Young master, his Kuan is gone. The disciple said in panic. What did you say? When Guan Zhiyun and Nan Menyu heard this, their expressions changed with horror. Chapter 37 Kun Fei. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, Guan Zhiyun and Nan Menyu immediately came to the house where Guan Xinrou was. As soon as the two of them entered the door, the first thing they saw was that their lower clothes were stained with blood, their original areas were blurred, their eyes were gouged out, and they were seriously injured lying on the bed with only a trace of breath left. Xinrou. Seeing this scene, Guan Zhiyun almost lost control of his emotions. His eyes were splitting, and he stood by the bed, looking at Guan Xinrou's miserable appearance, and his hands could not help but tremble slightly with anger. Nan Menyu's expression also changed. The person who took action was too cruel. Not only did Guan Xinrou's eyes gouged out, but his lifeblood was also wiped out. This directly made him no longer able to be a man. It was so cruel that he was outrageous. Xinrou, can you hear me? Who harmed you like this? Nan Menyu approached Guan Xinrou and asked. Guan Xinrou opened his mouth weakly, but his words were a little unclear. Nan Menyu and Guan Zhiyun immediately lowered their bodies and finally heard a few words from Guan Xinrou. Yes, it's Su Bai. He is a traitor. Guan Xinrou said these words as if he had exhausted all his strength. Because of the severe pain from his injuries and his complete loss of power, he fainted. Xinrou. Xinrou. Guan Zhiyun shouted anxiously, and then immediately put a healing pill into his mouth to save Guan Xinrou's life. At this time, Nan Menyu's expression had changed again and again, as if he had thought of something, and his expression was very frightening. At this moment, Guan Zhiyun looked at his son's miserable appearance and shouted angrily, Su Bai. You have the heart of a bear and the courage of a leopard, and you dare to betray the Blood Shadow Tower and hurt my son like this. I will definitely cut you into pieces and cut you into pieces. Guan Zhiyun's eyes were very scary, and the look on his face seemed to be cannibalistic. His face was filled with gnashing teeth and a ferocious expression. He did not expect that Su Bai, as the gold medal killer of his Blood Shadow studio, would betray him, but now, he probably ran away long ago after seriously injuring Guan Xinrou and did not dare to stay for a long time. Menyu, set out immediately and let me hunt down Su Bai. You must capture him alive. I will personally cut him into a stick and chop him into pieces. Guan Zhiyun's expression was close to madness, and he immediately shouted orders at Nan Menyu. However, Nan Menyu did not agree at this moment. Instead, he advised with a solemn expression, Master, please calm down first. If Su Bai is a traitor, then he must have failed in his assassination attempt at the Tianyan Dynasty that night, and was therefore captured by Dongfang Yuan. And Su Bai, as the senior executive of the Blood Shadow Building, knows many secrets in the building, including the hidden stakes, the helms, and the location of the headquarters. He must have told Dongfang Yuan everything. At this point, the headquarters is no longer safe. Lord, we need to move immediately. After Nan Menyu objectively thought about it, he immediately hurriedly persuaded. No. Go hunt down Su Bai. Go chase him immediately before he gets too far. Xinryu's current injury cannot be delayed any longer. I must heal him immediately so that he can save his life. The location of the base camp, even if they know it, they won't be far behind. Dongfang Yuan is still in the Qian family. As long as he doesn't come, we don't have to leave in a hurry. At this moment, Guan Zhiyun was anxious to protect his son, so he was quite impatient and could not stay calm. And to him, Dongfang Yuan was the only threat to the Tianyan Dynasty. As long as he didn't come, there was no need for them to move in a hurry, and now that there are many powerful spies in Tianlin City, as soon as Dongfang Yuan leaves Tianlin City, he will know about it immediately, and it will not be too late for them to move around at that time. What he can't wait for most now is to capture Su Bai and cut him into pieces to avenge Guan Xinrou. Nan Menyu stood there with a frown on his face. His inner views were completely different from Guan Zhiyun's, although Dongfang Yuan didn't come, Su Bai actually chose to expose himself and injured Guan Xinrou into a cripple. That means that the Tianyan Dynasty is probably already on its way here. As for the background of the Tianyan Dynasty, they now have no idea at all. If they still have a strong man above the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm, and once he arrives here, then all of them will be completely dead without a burial place. Nan Menyu was worried about this, but he also understood what kind of person Guan Zhiyun was. He valued his son more than his own life. Even if he told him now, he might not be able to listen. What are you still doing? Hurry up and chase after me. At this time, seeing Nan Menu still standing there, Guan Jiyan shouted. Nan Menu glanced at him and then nodded. Okay. At the next moment, Nan Menu left the attic. Guan Jiyan also immediately began to help Guan Xinrou heal his injuries. After Nan Menu left the house, he did not choose to chase Su Bai. Instead, he returned to his house and summoned 5 gold medal killers in the Dharma realm. These 5 people are all his trusted subordinates. Deputy Landlord, you summoned us here, but what's the matter? One of the killers asked. Su Bai rebelled and severely damaged the young master. Now, the powerful men from the Tianyan Dynasty are probably on their way to the headquarters. I persuaded the poster to let him organize the people to leave, but he insisted on treating the young master's injury, and no one could persuade him. I'm just asking you, are you planning to come with me and survive together? Or stay here and die with them? Nan Menu also kept his story short at this moment. Obviously, he no longer planned to obey Guan Jiyan's order. Now it can be said that a disaster is approaching, and he has even given him kind words and advice, but Guan Jiyan didn't listen and didn't believe it. Then he had no choice but to protect himself first. After all, good words can never persuade a damned person. His life is probably destined to come to an end. When the 5 killers heard this, they all looked shocked. Su Bai actually rebelled, which was something they didn't expect. And now that the strength of Tianyan Dynasty is obvious to all, having destroyed Xiaoyu Palace and burning Sky Island, it is not impossible to destroy their Blood Shadow Tower next. I saw that the 5 people made a decision quickly. Chapter 38. The Blood Shadow Tower is destroyed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Deputy Landlord, we are coming with you. The 5 gold medal killers also made a prompt decision and chose to leave with Nan Menu. It is good. Without further ado, we'll leave immediately. Nan Menu immediately packed up his things with the 5 gold medal killers, and immediately left the Blood Shadow Tower headquarters. As for Nan Menu's escape, Guan Jiyan is still kept in the dark and has no idea. After half a day, Guan Jiyan was still healing Guan Xinrou's injuries in the house, when suddenly, a gold medal killer ran in a hurry. Lord, this is bad. The deputy landlord, Zhou Qing, Bai Zhe, and the others suddenly lost their news. They are not in the headquarters and cannot be contacted at all. Listen to the killer's panicked words. Guan Jiyan was sweating profusely, and the spiritual power in his body was a little weak. Nothing, the deputy landlord will take them to hunt down Su Bai. I ordered you to go down. But, when chasing Su Bai, why were all the things in their houses taken away? The killer asked in confusion. Hearing this, Guan Jiyan's whole figure trembled, his body trembled suddenly, and his pupils suddenly shrank. What did you say? They don't have anything in the house. Yes. Whether it's the deputy landlord or Zhou Qing and the others, everything in the house has disappeared, and more than half of the treasures in the treasure house have disappeared, the killer said with great confusion. At this time, Guan Jiyan finally understood the seriousness of the matter. Nan Menu. How dare you betray me? Guan Jiyan finished the spiritual treatment, his face looked extremely ferocious, his heart felt like a volcano erupting, and anger occupied his entire brain. Boom. Suddenly, a huge explosion made everyone in the Shuiying Tower tremble, and the entire underground palace shook violently, like an earthquake. What's going on? Guan Jiyan's expression suddenly changed. Why did things happen one after another? Owner. It's not good. It's the Tianyan Dynasty. The powerful men from the Tianyan Dynasty are coming to kill them. The several retreat entrances to the headquarters were all destroyed by them, and now they have even entered the underground palace through the entrance. A killer ran in with a panicked expression and said anxiously. What? Guan Jiyan was horrified, but in a flash he thought, that's not right. Dongfang Yuan is obviously still in the Qian family. How can there be strong men in his Tianyan dynasty to attack my Blood Shadow Tower? Master, there are still powerful people hidden in Tianyan dynasty. Several of Dongfang Yuan's personal guards wearing golden armor are at the heavenly realm, and there is also one who holds an arrow. He shot 3 arrows in a row, which directly destroyed our 3 escape routes. The man ran in. The killer said hurriedly, boom. There was another loud noise, not far from the underground palace, and Guan Zhiyun heard those explosions mixed with some miserable wailing sounds. Owner! Let's go quickly. Let's get out of here before they know our location, that the gold medal killer also said with a pale face at this time. Guan Zhiyun has no time to regret now. He immediately picked up the unconscious Guan Xingchen and said, let's go, evacuate immediately. The three of them flew out of the house, intending to escape from the underground palace of the Blood Shadow Tower. What? Chi. The entire underground palace of the Blood Shadow Tower has now turned into a Shura battlefield. 5 of the 6 god-slaying guards are at the 3rd level of the Tianzuan realm. At this moment, they were killing everyone in the underground palace. The bodies of many killers in the Blood Shadow Tower fell one after another in a pool of blood. No one could stop their powerful killings. And those attics, palaces, and rockeries collapsed completely after being hit by the waves. The entire underground palace gradually turned into bloody ruins. The arrow god was flying in mid-air alone, and he blocked the entrance to prevent any fish from slipping through the net, because all the escape routes had been destroyed by his arrows. If the people in the Blood Shadow Tower wanted to escape, they had no choice but to run out from the entrance. The god of arrow holds a flaming bow, and the 2 ends seem to be blazing with the phantoms of redbirds and phoenixes. He observes the situation on the battlefield and shoots spiritual arrows burning with blazing flames one after another. Each arrow easily wiped out at least nearly 1,000 killers in the Blood Shadow Tower, causing a huge range of damage. The flames spread out, forming a flame blockade and burning the entire underground palace. Call out. Okay. And Ratstud at this time, the arrow god turned his eyes and looked to the left, where he saw Guan Zhiyun and 3 others coming out of the house. Still a 3rd level Heavenly Lord realm. Looking at it this way, you are Guan Zhiyun, the owner of Shuiying Tower. After locking Guan Zhiyun's position, the arrow god raised his flaming bow high and drew a full moon. 6th level of Tianzuan realm. No. After Guan Zhiyun felt the cultivation aura of the arrow god, his whole face suddenly changed, and his face turned pale with horror. He decisively hugged his son and walked around in another direction. The 2 killers immediately fled with him, not daring to approach the entrance again. However, the arrow god's arrow has already been shot. Like a phoenix soaring in the sky, burning with red flames, it shot towards Guan Zhiyun like a thunder. The speed was so fast that even though Guan Zhiyun tried his best to escape, it shot directly into him the next moment. Boom! There was a loud explosion in mid-air, and a ball of flames exploded. What? A heart-piercing scream came from Guan Zhiyun in the blazing flames, and then he was covered in flames and completely burned to ashes. The other 2 people were stopped by a god-killing guard of the heavenly realm. The sword flashed and beheaded them in an instant. The massacre at the Blood Shadow Studio headquarters did not last long. In less than a stick of incense, everyone left in the Blood Shadow Tower headquarters was dead. After the contents of the Blood Shadow Tower's treasure house were taken away by the arrow god, they came to the surface and shot an arrow toward Borneo. Hundreds of miles of ground suddenly collapsed. Smoke and dust rose everywhere, and the entire underground palace ruins of the Blood Shadow Tower were completely exposed to the sun. After doing all this, the arrow god left with 6 god-slaying guards, and it didn't take long for a shocking news to spread throughout the Northern Territory again. The headquarters of Blood Shadow Studio is in Borneo. However, the Blood Shadow Tower was destroyed. Including their hidden stakes and subrudders, all were uprooted by the Tianyan Dynasty, leaving no one alive. As soon as this news came out, many overlord forces in the Northern Territory were deeply shocked. The Tianyan Dynasty actually found the headquarters of Shuiying Tower, and also destroyed them. But Dongfang Yuan is still in the Qian family, who in the Tianyan Dynasty has the ability to destroy the Blood Shadow Tower. For a time, public opinion about the Tianyan Dynasty spread again. Many people felt that there was probably a powerful man above the 5th level of the Tianzuan realm hidden within the Tianyan Dynasty. Otherwise, there is no way to explain the fact that they destroyed the Blood Shadow Studio without Dongfang Yuan taking action. Chapter 39, Falling in Love with Qian Xinrou. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Above the Qian family's main hall, Dongfang Yuan and Chonglu were sitting in the hall. Qian Jiuyou and several senior elders of the Qian family were also sitting here. When they saw this unfamiliar face in Chonglu, they asked him his name, and Dongfang Yuan also told them that Chonglu was a tribute to Tianyan Dynasty. Qian Jiuyou and others could not see Chonglu's cultivation level, but since he was worshipped by the Tianyan Dynasty, he must be an extremely powerful master based on his status. Therefore, everyone in the Qian family was respectful and polite to him. "Master Qian, where is Xinrou?" Dongfang Yuan asked at this time. "Ha ha ha ha. Emperor Yuan, don't be anxious. I have already informed my daughter to come. Please just wait for a moment, Emperor Yuan." Qian Jiuyou said with a smile and an understanding expression. "I'm not impatient. Since Xinrou hasn't come yet, I have something to ask Master Qian." "It's about the sun and moon treasures," Dongfang Yuan said directly. As soon as everyone in the Qian family heard about the sun and moon treasures, their expressions became serious. Qian Jiuyou also said sincerely, "Presumably Emperor Yuan also got a sun and moon key from Feng Mabai's hand." "Good. Not only that, through soul searching, I also learned many things about the sun and moon treasures. However, Feng Mabai knows the specific route of the treasure inside the ruins, but he doesn't know the location of the ruins. This requires the combination of 2 sun and moon keys, and the location of the ruins will be revealed. If nothing unexpected happens, I think the other key to the sun and moon should be in the hands of the Qian family leader, right?" Dongfang Yuan said. From Feng Mabai's soul memory, he learned how precious this treasure of the sun and moon was. Let alone the Tianzun realm, even a semi-saint or even a true saint-level expert will be moved. And if you want to get the treasure of the sun and the moon, it takes 2 sun and moon keys to combine to get the location of the ruins. Then wait until the night of the full moon for the ruins to appear, and then open the ruins with 2 sun and moon keys to obtain the sun and moon treasure." "Good. The other key to the sun and moon is indeed in my possession," Qian Jiuyou also admitted directly. Dongfang Yuan smiled. "Master Qian, in this case, there are only less than 2 months left before the next full moon night. In this case, I wonder if Master Qian is willing to join forces with our Tianyan Dynasty to achieve a win-win situation." 55. How about it? Qian Jiuyou felt happy when he heard this. He thought that Dongfang Yuan would rely on his strength to take over forcefully, but he actually offered, points. "Naturally can. It is our Qian family's great fortune that Emperor Yuan is willing to share this treasure of the sun and moon with my Qian family." Qian Jiuyou agreed without hesitation. Later, Dongfang Yuan and he each took out a sun and moon key and combined the 2 keys together. Whoa! Suddenly, the combination of the 2 keys revealed a golden light, and then an image condensed in the mid-air of the hall. Looking at the appearance of this image, this is a mountain range. It's the North Star Mountains. An elder from a wealthy family immediately recognized this place and said loudly, "Beixing Mountains." Dongfang Yuan has also heard of this place. The Beixing Mountains are an extremely large mountain range in the Northern Territory. Because it is very close to the forest of 10,000 beasts, there are also some powerful ferocious beasts active inside. After knowing the location of the ruins, Dongfang Yuan felt confident, and the 2 of them took back the keys. "Next, all you have to do is wait for the full moon night." Just at this moment, Qian Xinrou also walked in. "Father." Xuanhuan. Qian Xinrou came into the hall and saluted Qian Jiuyou and Dongfang Yuan. "You don't need to be polite to be gentle. Come, sit here." Dongfang Yuan waved his hand, and then Qian Xinrou sat next to him. "Master Qian, if I return to the palace this time, I plan to take Xinrou with me." "What's the problem?" Dongfang Yuan said immediately. "No problem. Of course there is no problem. My little girl is favored by Emperor Yuan. This is a blessing for her and my Qian family," Qian Jiuyou said with a smile. All the senior officials of the Qian family also laughed and agreed. "Ha ha ha, yes. The combination of Emperor Yuan and Rou Xian is truly a match made in heaven. Emperor Yuan, we have watched this girl Xinrou grow up. Although she is relatively slow in cultivation, her mind is very smart. None of the rumors circulating outside are actually true. When Emperor Yuan and Xinrou get along for a long time, Emperor Yuan will understand how smart Xinrou's brain is. Some elders of the Qian family also opened their mouths to help Qian Xinrou explain the rumors about her. Dongfang Yuan didn't take those words to heart at first. At this moment, he suddenly took Qian Xinrou's hand, touched her snow-white and delicate skin, and said to the elders, "In that case, wouldn't this emperor still pick it up? A treasure has arrived." Ha 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 ha! Everyone in the Qian family also looked at each other and smiled. Qian Xinrou couldn't help but blush slightly on her cheeks, and said in a gentle voice, "Emperor Yuan, thank you very much. Xinrou is just a womanizer. Please don't dislike it, Emperor Yuan. Soft-hearted. What you said is wrong. Both men and women in this world are the same. Women also have great ambitions. I will never look down on others because of their gender," Dongfang Yuan said naturally. His words spoke directly to Qian Xinrou's heart, which made him feel somewhat fond of Dongfang Yuan. Finally, not long after the conversation in the main hall, Qian Jiuyou opened his mouth and asked Qian Xinrou to take Dongfang Yuan around the Qian family's residence to get familiar with it. The implication is also obvious. I plan to let the two of them cook rice directly at Qian's house. Qian Jiuyou had inquired about it. Now Dongfang Yuan has not officially accepted a concubine. If Xinrou was the first to become pregnant with his flesh and blood, as soon as the child was born, the Qian family would also prosper. Qian Xinrou naturally understood what her father meant, so she did not refuse. He took Dongfang Yuan to visit the back garden of Qian's house. Dongfang Yuan held Qian Xinrou's hand all the way and walked for a long time. Dongfang Yuan said, "It's already dark today. I'll take you back to your room to rest." Qian Xinrou pursed her lips and hesitated at first. She didn't expect progress to be so fast. To be honest, although she had a premonition, she was not really ready yet. However, she hesitated again and again, and she didn't know what was wrong with her head. She said, "Okay, then there will be Emperor Lao Yuan." Chapter 40 Spring Festival. One moment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Immediately, Dongfang Yuan also sent Qian Xinrou back to her boudoir. After entering Qian Xinrou's room, Dongfang Yuan smelled a faint fragrance, and the layout of the room was pleasing to the eye and comfortable. Squeak! Dongfang Yuan turned around and closed the door. Qian Xinrou walked to the chair and was about to sit down, call out. Suddenly, Dongfang Yuan appeared directly on the chair, and as soon as she sat down, her fragrant buttocks directly pressed against Dongfang Yuan's thigh. Qian Xinrou suddenly felt a little shy inside. The whole body gradually became slightly hot. Dongfang Yuan took advantage of the situation and pulled Qian Xinrou directly into his arms. Her delicate back was close to Dongfang Yuan's chest. The faces of the two were very close to each other, but there was still a slight distance between them. With their eyes facing each other, Dongfang Yuan was not in a hurry. At this moment, his eyes were looking at Qian Xinrou lovingly. "Xinrou, what's wrong? Looking at your eyes, you seem a little nervous." Dongfang Yuan said with a calm smile. Qian Xinrou's eyes couldn't help but dodge, and she said a little shyly, "I've never. Hearing this, Dongfang Yuan smiled happily. "Don't worry, Xinrou is so lovable, I am definitely not a rude person." After saying that, Dongfang Yuan kissed her small cherry mouth. Qian Xinrou was inexperienced and couldn't even breathe properly. In the blink of an eye, Dongfang Yuan picked her up while kissing her and placed her on the jade bed. With a wave of his hand, the night light in the boudoir went out. Words omitted here. Tonight is destined to be a sleepless night. Dongfang Yuan himself didn't expect that the first woman he traveled to this world was not Xiao Qingli, but Qian Xinrou. Silent all night. The next day, dawn, on the jade bed in the room. Qian Xinrou was wearing pink clothes and lay on the bed exhausted, having a good sleep. Dongfang Yuan was already sitting on a chair and regulating his power. Too crazy. In retrospect, Qian Xinrou's serious cooperation at the beginning turned into a gentle and appetizing one in the middle. To the last moment where I am speechless, continuously, it erupted like a tsunami, setting off waves of fine waves. At this time, Dongfang Yuan slowly opened his eyes and adjusted his breath. At this time, King Tianyu suddenly went outside and knocked on the door. "Your Majesty, are you awake?" King Tianyu's voice came in. After Dongfang Yuan heard it, he opened his mouth and responded, what's the matter? The Prime Minister's way is back, but things are not going well, King Tianyu said in a slightly heavy voice. Apparently it was Xuanhuan who brought some bad news. Dongfang Yuan frowned secretly, and then said, I understand. You guys go to the guest room and wait for me. I'll be back soon. Yes. After King Tianyu responded, he turned around and left. Dongfang Yuan slowly stood up from the chair, turned around and found that Qian Xinrou had woken up. She couldn't sleep all night, and her face looked a little haggard. The hair is also a little scattered, and the two ponytails on the left and right are also a little loose. Woke you up. Sleep a little longer. You are too tired and don't get enough rest. I will feel sorry for you. Dongfang Yuan walked over, touched Qian Xinrou's little face and said. Qian Xinrou's eyes were still hazy and she still looked a little tired. She said in a weak voice, did something happen? Fine. You should have a good rest first, you can't even get out of bed now. Good. Dongfang Yuan rubbed her little face. Qian Xinrou was like a little rabbit at this time, nodded with hazy eyes, wrapped herself in a quilt and fell asleep again. Dongfang Yuan came to the guest room. At this time, King Tianyu, Tai Poyan, Demon Zunzhenglu, Arrow God, and several god-slaying guards were all waiting here. As soon as Dongfang Yuan entered the door, he saw Xuanhuan who was injured. He frowned slightly and immediately asked, Swa Prime Minister, what's the matter with your injuries? His Majesty. That 10,000 beasts forest is too bullying. Swa Xiang's face was full of anger, and he immediately revealed all the humiliation he had suffered in the 10,000 beasts forest. After hearing this, Dongfang Yuan's face became serious, even a little gloomy. He couldn't help but sneer. What a forest of beasts, how dare you steal the Emperor's elixir? In this case, I will ask you to repay 10,000 beast forest 10 times. Your Majesty, do you need me to take action to directly destroy the forest of 10,000 beasts? Demon Zunzhenglu asked for instructions at this moment. As a powerful person at the pinnacle of Tianzuan realm, he also has immeasurable qualifications and a demon body. He can be said to be an invincible existence in the same realm. He can even fight against half-saints across levels. Fighting in a mere forest of 10,000 beasts does not put any pressure on him. As soon as he said these words, Dongfang Yuan's face looked normal, while Xuanhuan, King Tianyu and others were shocked. They had no idea who the Arrow God and Demon Zunzhenglu were. To them, the two of them, including these new god-slaying guards, appeared out of nowhere. They only knew that they were one of their own, but Xuanhuan and the others were completely confused about their identity, background, cultivation, etc. Your Majesty, I wonder who these two are. Xuanhuan asked curiously. By the way, I almost forgot. Let me introduce to you first. This is the Demon Lord, one of the worshippers of our Tianyan Dynasty. This person is called the Arrow God, and he is also one of the worshippers of our Tianyan Dynasty. Don't underestimate the two of them. Their cultivations are both strong men above the 5th level of the Tianzuan realm. Dongfang Yuan also introduced directly. Hearing this, King Tianyu and Xuanhuan were shocked in their hearts. These two people turned out to be such powerful masters, and they were also worshipped by their Tianyan dynasty. This was an even more powerful addition to their current dynasty's form.